Hi, I'm Matt with Main Street Medina, and welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. Today we're going to sit down with a couple friends and familiar faces from around the city of Medina and learn a little bit more about them and what makes Medina, Medina. Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. We're here with Mayor Hanwell. Mayor, thanks so much for coming out today.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
Pleasure to finally sit down with you after years and learn a little bit more about you.
Right.
So the first question is, how did you end up in Medina, Ohio?
Well, I grew up in Brunswick, went to Brunswick High School. Myself, my wife, actually dated in high school.
Yeah.
This next month will be 43 years we've been married.
Oh, congratulations.
You know, one of those that'll never last, and here we are, right?
Who said it wouldn't last?
Well, everybody thought we were too young. She was 19, I was 21, and you know, you guys should wait, and we didn't want to wait, and,
sure.
and here we are 43 years later.
Congratulations.
But, I was inducted into the Brunswick Distinguished Hall of Fame when I was the police chief.
Yeah.
The reason Medina, from Brunswick to Medina, is Medina gave me the first chance for being a police officer, and I worked 26 years on the police department, the last 13 nearly as chief. Mm-hmm. And then when I decided to put my name in for mayor in 2009, I had to resign my police chief position because it's civil service protected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people asked me then, even just campaigning for mayor, if I was going to use that to go to a state elected office, a county elected office, and I told them if I was fortunate enough to be elected mayor, mm-hmm. that my loyalty was here and I would stay here until I'm ready to be done.
Wow, fantastic.
And I've kept my word. They've asked me to run for sheriff, they asked me to run
Really?
for state rep, they've asked me for a variety of things, and I told them, look, I'm a man of my word. I said I'd stay.
You're happy where you are?
Yep, I am. I'm very happy. I enjoy the job day in and day out.
Yeah. How did you get interested in law enforcement?
This is a funny story. So my first interest, I went to Akron University, and I did the first quarter of pre-med, and did terribly, like D's terribly. So I learned very quickly that my scientific and chemistry and biology background was not going to pull me through.
Yeah.
And I had some friends in law enforcement, Jim Bigham, who ended up working at Medina PD as a detective, a couple people on the sheriff's department that I went to high school with. So I got a 2-year degree in law enforcement from Akron University, because that's all they had then.
Okay.
But I was only 20 years old. So then I got into manufacturing. I was working at a place with my wife's father, a subsidiary of MTD, and then I learned a process there to go out to Gerber products. This is now 1979, 1980, and that's when car seats were being mandated for everybody.
Oh, okay.
So we were making a self-skinning foam to hold the child in the car seat with a little metal insert that went into a buckle.
Yeah.
And so when I was offered the position in Medina to come over as an officer, I had to take a 40% pay cut to go from manufacturing, and then work nights and weekends instead of straight day shifts, and then go. Chris was, I was offered the position to start September 1st, and Chris was 6 months pregnant, so I had to go down to the police academy. I had already gone to the career center, but Chuck Davis didn't like it, so he wanted me to go to Highway Patrol Academy.
Yeah.
So I went down there for 10 weeks, and she went to the Lamaze class with one of her friends. And
but talk about maybe not making it. It's like, hello, wife, you're pregnant, and I'm taking a pay cut, and I'm leaving you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything okay?
Wow.
Well, when I talk about being supportive, she has been. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is it like having a career in public service? I mean, you are the face of the city. You're out there every day. You know everybody. Do you ever get to just step back and escape?
Only if I leave the city.
Okay.
So, you know, if we go to Florida, if we go on a cruise, things like that, then you can kind of get away a little bit. But really that's a blessing and a curse, because no matter where you go, I mean, I talk to the high school groups and elementary groups, and I tell them, you know, people know you and they're watching you, you know, and you can't say one thing and do something else.
Yeah.
how you drive, how you treat people, how you act, and but it's also very positive because you see people day in and day out. You know them when they come into City Hall. You know them by name. If they have issues and you can help them resolve those, then they remember that. The next time they come in, or they refer somebody else that has an issue and is having trouble resolve it. So having that small town atmosphere, that's why I was so set back by the COVID, because they made us lock down City Hall and not let people in. And that's just not the way we like to do business. So as soon as possible, once we got all the safety things in and sanitizing units, to open it back up. We were the first city and county office to open back up in early April, right? Because that was important to me.
Yeah. In over 40 years of public service now? Close?
Yes, sir.
What are some
of
the
those
biggest
with the
changes?
county and some with the city, but I'll have 38 years here next month with the city.
What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen or you've been part of in the city of Medina?
So when I started in the city of Medina on the police force, Wendy's was the end of the commercial development. So if you think of everything all the way between there and Fenn Road now, that's all been since I was with the city. We were the first super Kmart to open in the world, or in the country.
Happen? How did they choose Medina, Ohio for the first Super K?
I'm not sure, but what I do know for sure is our calls went up 500 to 600%.
Oh my gosh.
From going to the location where Giant Eagle is to that large location.
Really?
Because now it's that many more people, a lot of people from out of town, on and on it goes. So from commercial development, that would be it. Now, since I've been mayor, we've done a great deal of work to improve all the streets in our industrial area and build it up. And our income tax is increasing significantly. When I started as mayor, 1% of the income tax was roughly $100,000, and now 1% is about $150,000 to $160,000. So that's a 50-60% increase, which is great for us, because we want to keep that 1.25%. It's one of the lowest in the state, and keep it as long as we can for our residents. So if our residents aren't having to pay more because of more employment opportunities, in particular industry, which is not a great draw on services, then we're blessed as a result of that.
Nice. When you and Mrs. Hanwell are able to just go away and escape, how do you relax? What do you do? Are you a reader? Are you a collector? You take hikes?
I do read quite a bit. I try to read 2 or 3 books if we get away for a week or 2 weeks. We recently bought a house down in Florida that Chris's stepmom had in the Villages, which is a retirement community with like 50 golf courses.
That place is huge, isn't it?
It's 3 counties, but I don't. I don't golf. So that's just a good time to kind of sit at the edge of the pool. I can work out every day, whereas I have trouble fitting that in sometimes here, and just be away. Now I still handle emails and things like that. If somebody calls the cell phone, I'll still answer it, and they get aggravated at me, at work, that I don't disconnect. But that I don't think with the position that's something you can do. But even if I spend half hour, 45 minutes a day handling things like that, and the rest of the time I'm away, it's still a good break for me.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it that you personally love about this city and its people? Like, what has kept you here, career aside?
Well, I just think it's small town America. I mean, to have this park in the downtown here as a drawing place. A lot of times people will talk about the youth. They graduate and they move away. And what I've found, I've been here long enough to watch it, is they may move away. They may move away for college. They may move away for employment. But so many of them now, when it's time to start a family, they come back to Medina. My son was down in Columbus for 15 years working at FedEx. He's back in Medina now, and working at Sandwich Salads. And a number of the people he went to high school with, same thing. They went to Denver, they went to California, they went south, but they came back to Medina because they wanted to raise their family here. They knew the schools were good, the medical services were good, and it's just, it's welcoming, it's safe, it's warm. People know each other, they respect each other, and it's a good place to be.
Sure. What is What is your big dream for the future of Medina? What would you love to see happen here?
Yeah, I guess I'm not one of those ones that grandiose plans. We want to continue to work well with businesses and the industry. It's our hope now, because we did as I said, a lot of the industrial road paving. Now we want to take that same principle. We're going to apply for some more bonds, because those first ones are going to be paid off, and then start doing some of the major corridors of our residential streets. So it's a constant look at improvement to the city to keep the high quality of life, high property values, and low income taxes for everybody's benefit.
If you ever decide to retire, and I'm not sure you will, if you ever do.
I'm thinking 4 years.
Okay.
4.5.
All right, 4.5 more years. What would be a dream vacation that you and Mrs. Hanwell would just take off, check out, and just go explore? Where would you go?
We still like cruises. We haven't been on the cruises since the COVID, and there's still so many restrictions with it. But we love the Caribbean islands.
Okay.
One time we went on a 10-day cruise instead of a 7-day, and boy, that extra 3 days almost seemed like another week.
Really?
So
were you ready to come home at that point?
Well, no, not. But it was good. It was much more relaxing, because with the 7-day, it seems like the first day you're getting there, the last day you're trying to leave, so you only have the 5 days.
That's true.
So that extra 3 days just seemed like the world. And we'd like to do something like that again. She would like to go to Australia.
Oh, wow. That's
now, I don't know if you could do that on a cruise, and I know the planes trips are pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
But that's something she's always dreamed of doing, and obviously to do something like that, we would need some time away. So, and maybe it's a shorter flight from Florida.
Yeah, so. I don't think people realize how big Australia is.
Right.
I mean, it's massive.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that would be fantastic.
Right.
Mayor, at the end of the day, what do you want people to take away about the city? I mean, we are small town America. It's a beautiful place. When you talk to people, what do you tell them about Medina? How do you impart the message of what we have here?
I think the difference with the city of Medina versus many other cities, and our city, before we changed a lot of these things, is, I want people to be responsive. I want my staff to be very responsive to people. If what they come in and they're asking won't work, what can they change or adapt or modify to make it work, instead of making them come back and back and back, and you're not telling them what they have to do to solve it. That's very important to me.
Right.
When I was first elected, and in the 6 weeks before I took over, I met with all the department heads, and I told them the relationship that I wanted to have with the business community, with the chamber, with Main Street, and with the council was that it was collaborative, everybody working together, and that's been very important to me, working with the county, working with the townships, whatever we can do to help one another. And what I saw before I became mayor under the 3 prior mayors was there always seemed to be divisiveness between the council and the administration.
Okay.
And we may not always agree, but the time to disagree is not in a meeting, not in front of the media. If we have to get into an office, work things out,
Sure.
to where we can all be satisfied. That's how I think that the public expects that professionalism, respect for one another, and I've worked hard to establish that.
Yeah, I agree. Last question: when people are visiting town, or you have guests come in from out of town, what's kind of your hit list of, we have to eat here, we have to stop here, you got to see this?
Well, obviously the square is the first stop, and just walking around the historic buildings and that. And then I kind of, rather than directing them to this restaurant or that restaurant, this restaurant, provides this, and this restaurant provides that, and kind of give them a variety of what the options are, and then we try one. And if they're here for 2 or 3 days, then we'll try a different one and a different one.
Yeah.
But I always let them make the choice, as opposed to me saying, oh, this is the best here, the best there, because maybe they're interested. Sully's, for example, has the Irish theme, and Amuse has a European theme.
Right.
And if they're coming from the some of my cousins are still in the hills of Pennsylvania, you know, just any restaurant. It's nice for them, you know, because they usually get a burger at a bar or something, right?
Yeah.
So any of these are going to be different. But if you're interested in this type of thing, you know, we have a lot to offer here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking some time today and
My
sharing
pleasure.
a little bit more about yourself. And
Okay.
good luck.
Thanks,
with
Matt.
your future.
Thanks.